I have like a sense of deja vu. Deja vu.
Yeah. Tanya, you got anything to get off your chest?
Ma'am, how are you? Sipping and dipping.
Woosah. I almost went downstairs and got my sage stick and burnt it. But I was like, you know what? I don't want to hold on to that all night. Can we, to this week?
Can we talk?
Let me get in both your asses right now. You two, I love you. You my brother, you my sister. And I know that you want the best for me. And you want me to find the love of my life and get back in this dating game. I am done. Because this week has been a very trying week for us single bitches. It should be a trying week for you married bitches. But for us single bitches looking for a good, trusting, loyal man, we're done. All right. So let me start. I live here in Massachusetts, home of the Boston Celtics. Emu or Emi.
Emu.
Udoka. Emo. What?
Emu.
Emu Udoka? Okay. Emu Udoka. Of the head coach of the Boston Celtics, legit was cold stone busted, and he's out for the rest of the season. That hasn't even started yet.
They spent it for the whole season?
No.
I saw it on the news. They're making the final announcement this week, and I'm pretty sure they keep saying he's potentially going to be out for the whole season, which means in Boston, that Negro is out for the whole season. Let's not get it twisted, because they've already been hyping up his assistant coach on the news. So you already know.
They must want to get rid of him then, because that makes no sense.
Oh, he gone. But look at Black Jesus cheated on Nia motherfucking Love Jones Long. If you can cheat on Nia motherfucking Love Jones Long, I got nothing. I'm out. I'm out of this game. I've retired. Chris, if you know her, let her know to come on the podcast, because we got to talk about it, because I just don't understand how you
remember they were engaged for 7 years. So there must be a reason. Someone else is saying there must be a reason why they ain't married.
But you right on that one, because I ain't going to be engaged to nobody for 7 years. No, that's just ridiculous. But at the end of the day, I'm like, they produced a child, and when the news came out, it was like it was an affair, but a consensual affair.
So that's why I don't understand the whole suspension thing.
Exactly. Well,
because they have a morality clause. That's what came out in the news. They have a morality clause. Anything to,
just an excuse.
He ain't married.
Well, Stephen A. Smith went off on the whole thing. He says, I know many sports individuals, NFL, all across the sports spectrum, that coaches doing all kinds of that stuff. And the Celtics leaked this. The Celtics leaked this information. And they're the ones who, and you don't hear about any of the white, coaches are doing crazy. Like Urban Meyer did something, whatever, when he was the coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars. He was messing around with some girl. He didn't get fired. He didn't get suspended.
But let's even talk about the elephant in the room with ESPN and all these sports channels haven't even. They vilified Michael Vick and Colin Kaepernick for some minor shit, and you got Brett Favre that they just made one little story about it, and it's not been heard of or talked about since on ESPN about Brett Favre fucking robbing the welfare system in Mississippi to build his daughter a fucking volleyball court.
Millions.
I went to USM and around that time, and I'm just telling you, for the simple fact for them to even give this man this money and then him pretend like he didn't know where it was coming from, and then the emails actually showed it. This stuff happened ages ago. Ages ago, and it's just really coming out. And when I say Mississippi is like, there are people I knew that still had outhouses, poor as fuck. And then when you look at the population of the state and how many families are actually on welfare, it is like less than 1%. And they're giving all that federal money to these white men.
Mm.
Amazing.
And he knows he's wrong because in his text messages, which they've since come out, or emails have since come out, he's very aware of the ramifications. He's like,
he is.
Well, if I get this money that is not appropriated for me, is it going to come out because I don't want, it's going to ruin his reputation.
He only paid back $1 million. No, sir, you owe like $25 million. Yes. But back to your thing about Lisa. I mean, about
Nia Long.
Nia Long. Why did I call her Lisa Long?
Oh,
Nia
Lord,
Long.
that sounds like a porn star.
I feel for her, but at the same time, it was a consensual relationship. Now, I know part of it could be that, oh, well, she worked for him or worked for the organization, and it could be a kind of like, level of
hierarchy thing.
No, it doesn't even matter. It was consensual. And I do believe, like Chris just said, that they leaked it.
Yeah, they did leak it.
Get rid of that man for some reason.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. And I'm not going to show, I all day, they have been posting pictures of the alleged woman that he had this consensual relationship with. And I'm not going to post. I was going to show it to you guys on the podcast, but I'm not going to, because you know what? Since before we started recording, it came, I was watching the news and they were like, the pictures that are showing, the woman that they're showing is not the woman that he supposedly had the relationship with. So I was like, I'm not going to even. Is
it a black woman they're showing the pictures of?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
So, and she's like the vice president of player
personnel,
whatever.
Oh, hell no. They were just about equals. There's no way in the world they can make this about like a hierarchy or something. No, forget that.
Exactly, because at the end of the day, people like, because I've been watching it all day on Twitter, on TikTok, on Instagram, and it's like, oh, he actually did he did the most. He fucked his work wife, and I'm like, I thought I got
consensually,
huh?
Consensually.
Consensually. But at the end of the day, I'm like, again, Chris, you made a valid point. Of course, as a movie fan and Love Jones fan, I'm like, oh, Nia Long, Jesus Christ, she's so beautiful. She's got everything. She's got.
It don't matter. I don't know why people do that.
I don't either. Yeah, it doesn't matter.
I do it because I'm a single woman, and I'm like, well, damn, I ain't nobody. But who the hell's gonna be faithful to me? If a man can't be faithful to Nia Long, who the hell's gonna be faithful to me? That's why I take myself out of the equation. I know I'm wrong for saying that, but this is just how I feel. And I'm sure that there's a lot of women out there that feel the same way. It is what it is. But also, I'm going to also say, I don't know Nia Long. So I don't know how she is as a human being, as a mate, as a lover, as a best friend, as a confidant in a relationship, that maybe there's always reasons why people cheat, because they're missing out on something.
But then I don't care if she was a fucked up woman, if she berated you every day when you come home, fucking leave her and go get you somebody else.
I guess that's easier said than done, because they have a kid together.
Have you ever? Okay, we all know that. I mean, I'm not one to put a whole lot of like, oh my God, you know, this person cheated or whatever. I do agree that sometimes shit does happen or whatever, but you should have a little bit more respect for your relationship and the person that you're with, even at the end. Because a lot of times the relationship is at the end and people decide to like, you know, oh, it just happened. Well, not really. You kind of planned it out a little bit. You know, nothing just happened. But I'm not gonna berate somebody totally just because they fucking cheated on a fiance.
Yeah, but
you're right. A season-long suspension.
That's
But
ridiculous.
why suspend them? Why suspend them?
Because
a violation of the organization's guidelines. Like no one's ever done that before.
Because they're working up to fire him as something else.
I agree. They're gonna get rid of him.
Suspension with pay.
Mind you, I would imagine so. But mind you, he did take them to the finals last year.
Hello, that's what I'm saying. And I do have tickets for November 28th, and
it is Boston. You know, Boston has a history. So it is Boston with their whole racist ass history. Who knows?
He was the fifth coach in the past 25 years to reach the NBA Finals in his first season as head coach, and the first since 2019.
Yep.
Yeah, I thought it was the first. I didn't even know that others had done it before, but I thought he was the first.
Anyway. He was the first rookie coach to win multiple Game 7s in his first postseason.
Yep.
They're going to fuck with that.
Of course they are. They're going to tarnish this man's character.
I just don't see a whole season. That doesn't make any damn sense. That doesn't make any damn sense.
And you've got and maybe Chris, I'm gonna need you to interject in as a man, because I've just been hearing tidbits of it. Isn't there like a coach, an NFL coach, and a Major League Baseball coach in Arizona, the white man, that he's now about to sell the teams because he was blasted
over years
of shit that he's been doing.
Racist and misogynist stuff.
Misogynistic shit that he's been doing for years. And now we've got this black man. Listen, as a fan,
and he got fined $10 million, and now he's selling the team. But he's like, Stephen A. Smith had a direct message for him talking about if it walks like a duck and quacks like a duck, then he keeps talking about he made a quote. The owner said, in an unforgiving society as we have now, all the good things that I did are no longer valid. And he's like, you can't. Ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
It is ridiculous.
All right, let's go on.
Listen, at the end of the day, it's a double-edged sword, and everybody's all up in arms on social media, as I was with regards to Nia Long. Because we are Black women and Black people, and we're like, really, Nia fucking Long, bro? Like, seriously, emu?
It's not about that.
I know,
look,
but it's
you can have if mint chocolate chip is your favorite ice cream, and you can have it every day. It's the best ice cream in the world. Sometimes you just gonna want a little vanilla.
Whew.
Oh Lord Jesus.
Fucking man, and that
I heard.
I heard this all day from men at the office. This is not that analogy. It's like y'all read a playbook.
And on that note, I'm pulling up my notes from the Married at First Sight. So let's get into it.
Oh.
Lord. So I don't know about you guys, but I watched everything today. I watched the episode of Married at First Sight. I watched the after party, and I
leading up to
went back to the Kevin Frazier, like, what's happening now episode.
Oh, the leading up to part? Yeah.
Yeah. And the only reason why I stopped it was because I'm a little bitter. I'm a little salty because when I watch the Kevin Frazier shows, I'm like, why aren't the three of us sitting there? Like, I mean, come on, Kevin. to show us a little love, Kevin Frazier, and get us on them seats.
So what show is that? I don't understand. There's
another. There's a leading up to what has happened. What's led up to this season?
Yeah, what's going on now? And now all of the. Remember how they do the preview in the beginning before the episodes start, and they have Kevin Frazier with his experts mm-hmm. giving their take on who's going to make it and who's not going to make it. Mm-hmm. They did that, and they followed up with that episode, and then he had those same people back, and now all of a sudden they're flipping the scripts, and they're talking about, and they showed some sneak peeks of some scenes that.
Well, let's get into the show.
So let's get into the show. So who are we going to talk about first? Let's talk about.
Let's start with.
Go ahead.
Who was the first couple to come up on the screen? Wasn't it Alexis and Justin?
Well, let's get into it. Shahida, Chris, I'll let you guys take the lead, and then I'll throw in my 2 cents.
I have one thing to say. Well, a couple things. I misread her so incredibly bad. If you go back and listen to us, like the first 2 episodes, you all pegged her, and I kept saying no. She was into him. She likes him, and I thought that they were going to be kind of like a couple that would shock us. Yeah, she shocked us. She is so manipulative. She is, and remember last week or so, you brought it up because you watched Whatever Happened Live, that she said that he couldn't get it up sexually. She fucking lied. I want to say she.
Well, she implied it. She didn't say that. She implied it. She
did. But from this episode, we see that she is in front of the camera, lovey-dovey. I'm gonna work this out. What does she even call him? I'm sorry, husband. I know all that shit. But behind closed doors, she's not letting this man touch her. So all this, implying that he probably didn't get it up or whatever. She's worse than I thought she was. I mean, she is totally unlikable. And Nate called her out.
Again.
Loved it.
I did too.
When he said that when all the women were at his house and they came running over there, she's over there getting shit started in other people's marriages and hanging out at the club. Lady, grow up. Horrible. She does not want that man, and she's gaslighting the fuck out of him. Gaslighting the fuck out of him.
I do have to say, I commend him more for having a little more balls now, for not breaking down and being like, I can't believe you said you don't want, now he's like, that's fucked up. That hurt my feelings. And
he cry.
That's what I was expecting him to cry. Right. Now he's kind of a little more hardened because he sees her. He sees who she is. He knows how she says one thing and then does another. And she's like, what are you talking about? Of course, you don't want me to go out every week? No. Why are you going out? Everyone's like, why would you go out every weekend? And even on the What's Talking Back Live, she was like I would stay home with, she's like, what's the problem with going out every weekend with, because he doesn't have any friends. She said, because he doesn't have any friends, I'm his only friend. That's why he don't want me to go out. She goes out.
Anybody call her out?
Not really.
That's why I didn't want it.
And she's so manipulative. But I do like the fact that he's like, I'm not going for it anymore. But he still trying. But when he put the blindfold on, whatever, and he told her the truth, he said right away. But he's been saying that. He's been saying that consistently. And she said, he hasn't been telling me how he really feels. And then when she says, first of all, I like your family, blah, 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 and didn't lay into him the way that she would normally do. Like when she said, I'm ready for marriage, but not married to him in front of Dr. Pia, which I do like her. She's at least to a certain extent, she's pushed a little bit more than Dr. Cal and Dr.
Yeah,
Cal. You know, she pushes a little bit more, even though she on the Morgan thing, we'll get to that in a second.
Yeah,
but she does push a little bit more about, well, how you feeling, this, that, and the other. But she don't like Justin at all. She not attracted to him. She don't want to be with him. She don't want to be near him.
Nope.
And he's getting the wind of that, and he's like, I don't know if I would want to be with someone like her. Tanya,
go ahead, girl.
All right, I got my notes because I'm sorry, Alexis is fake as fuck. I'm just putting the shit on the table.
Can I just say something? Did you write that in your notes?
Bitch, I got my notes up in there.
I wrote that in my fucking notes too. Fake as fuck.
Listen, I was like, I'm watching it and I'm like, Alexis is fake as fuck, condescending and crazy and the worst. We thought, I'm gonna speak for myself, not we. I thought that last season in Boston that, oh, I'm a good person was the worst. Alexis is the worst. Alexis has problems. Alexis has problems. If you watch the episode, if y'all want to go back, or anybody that's watching our podcast wants to go back and watch the episode, pay attention to Alexis's face anytime that Dr. Pia or Justin is addressing her. She went full on from to like, no, bitch. When Dr. Pia showed up and Dr. Pia was calling her on her bullshit, and she's like, I just feel like I'm being attacked, and this is that in my mental. She pulled the mental health card. I'm not saying that she doesn't have mental health issues, because Dr. Pia asked her. Let's go back to that. You brought up the mental health thing. What's going on there? No, because you're doing that. She didn't like what she heard. That's what I got. She didn't like what she heard and what was being told to her. Now she's going to pull this card of her mental health and her emotional stability and da-da-da. You know, you went, Dr. Pia and Justin, you went from talking about this. Now you're going to this. And you know, you're flip-flopping on me, basically, in a nutshell, and I'm not dealing with this. That's what she went to. So let me fast forward, because I got my notes. She's the worst. I said that again. I'm going to say it again. And when they put the blindfolds on, I was happy that Justin, she put her blindfold on, or he put his blindfold on, or I don't know how that worked. And he said what he needed to say to her. He threw it out there, and she didn't like it. And her whole mentality changed. If you saw when she had the mask on, when he was talking, her whole bottom face changed. And I was like, there's something off with her. I don't know what her situation is. I don't know her, but there's something off with her. It's either her way or the highway. And let's get to when he said what he said, I was like, thank you, Justin. You finally got that shit off your fucking chest. She didn't like it. And then she came back. He put the mask on, and she's telling him, well, I can find it with someone else. If I'm not with you, I'll make someone else happy. To me, it sounded like a bye, bitch. I'm out. I'm done with this.
Oh, yeah.
I'm out.
Yep. And in the talkback, she said that they said that. Stacia said to her, well, it certainly sounded like you said you're done.
Right. Bye. We're done here. We're done here. And then on top of that, let's talk about, listen, this is a whole conversation. I am Team Justin at this point. I know I talked about him with being too emotional and too like effeminate, whatever, but you like what you like. But I am Team Justin with the whole, she wants to go to the club every weekend. Bitch, what do you want? Do you want a husband, or do you want to be out in the street with your friends?
Out in the street with friends? She wants to be single.
She wants to be single.
She said, I can go Tuesday to Saturday night. Every night I can go out.
She said that, remember? She said that. I can go out. I got a lot of friends. She gave that little dig. I don't like the tit for tat digs. And she gave that dig to him. You don't got no friends here. I can go out every day of the week if I want to. I can go out from Tuesday to Saturday with my friends. And you're just sitting here. You just want to go out with me. And then I told you, why don't you come out with me? And he don't want to go out. And she's like, well, fuck you then. But I'm saying to myself, you're a fucking married woman. Look, why you got to go out every week? And then she made the comment. I'm sorry, I'm monopolizing. I'm sure somebody's going to comment on the podcast and say, you bitch.
No, go ahead. No.
I'm going to say this, and I'm going to shut up. She said that, what did she say? She's like, I go out every week. And then she's like, I asked you to go out with me. And then she's like, this is what I lost my brain there for a minute. She's like, when I was in relationships in the past.
That was ugly.
She was like, all my boyfriends or the relationships that I was in, they were fun because we always used to go out all the time. Well, bitch, it didn't work.
And you're married now.
It didn't work. When you were dating these guys and they were like, and you or you were like, let's go to the club, let's go to the bar, let's party, let's do this. Great. But did it turn into a marriage? No, bitch. And here you are.
How many times was she engaged? She said 3 times.
I think so.
I think it was like,
I didn't hear that.
That's a lot of times to be engaged.
A long time ago.
So I would like, but how old is she? Long time ago. 3 times? Engaged 3 times? She's only what, 30, 31 maybe? So my thing is with her, it's just like what you're saying, Tanya, none of those things turned into marriages. Now she says it's because she did not want to get married. I would love to talk to
them. Exactly.
Because I see a lot of shit wrong with her.
She's the homie. Let's just call a spade a spade. She's the homie. She probably met some guy. All the guys that she dated, she probably met them while in the beginning. Let's go to the beginning when she was out there doing her flag football with her homeboys. And then they were like, oh, let me take you out. And then they take her out and she's out there fucking like, yeah, hey, I'm the homie. And they look at her like the homie. They're not looking at her as a romantic interest. Oh, bitch, I'll take you out. We'll go to the club. We'll go to the bar. We'll go to the restaurant and we'll do brunch and whatever with the crew. But bitch, no, I'm good. I'm going to find my next girl.
I would like to really see if she's
and I'm
really
going to wipe her up.
3 times.
Mm-hmm.
I need to talk to some friends of friends because she's messy. She's messy. And I can see her being, even in her friendships, when shit goes down, it goes like, well, Alexis said. Because
she can't keep her mouth shut about other people.
But she's messy and she loves to get shit going. Go ahead, Tanya.
Pay attention to the body language with Alexis. I'm going to implore you two and everybody that watches our podcast, our whole 200 people, maybe 3, but we'll go there. We'll hopefully get it up. But I'm saying, I'm going to implore you guys to pay attention to Alexis's body language and her face. Look at her eyes specifically. Whenever somebody talks to her, whether it be the girls, the guys, or her husband, she literally turns that shit on and off quickly. Mm-hmm. If she likes what she's hearing, she's like, hey. And if you say something she don't like or something pops off, it's like
she going to the streets immediately.
Exactly. Yes. Her switch flips immediately. there's something off about her. I don't want to say anything with regard to her mental health. She brought that shit up on the episode.
I don't even believe that shit. I don't believe that shit. She just knows what cards to play to make people
manipulative
off.
And Nate's got her card.
Yeah.
And Nate's like, she's manipulative and she's a snitch. And I loved every bit about that when he said that shit. She's a snitch. Mind your business, bitch. Focus on your marriage. Don't worry about Morgan and Binh or anybody else. Worry about your marriage.
Just leave it.
Yes.
Put that man out of his misery and just go on.
Seriously.
For real though. So
and stop acting like stop acting like she said. She also said, we both want this and we both are trying to work on it. No, you don't. You haven't from the beginning. Nope. Because if that was the case, when he talked to you on Hinge, you would have replied to him from the beginning. Mm-hmm. From before this thing, if you liked him and he asked you out, and when you matched, just because he was tall, and you matched, and he said, "What's up?" and you didn't say anything, and he said, "That's it," and she said, "Yep." From the pre-beginning of your marriage, she never wanted to be with him in the first place.
No.
Enough said.
Never. She has no attraction to him. I think she's in it just till the end because she wants to save face and maybe get a come up of, the social media thing like all the rest of them do.
But she's doing it the wrong way. You're not making yourself likable to people. We see who you are.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
But all right, one final thing. I'm just being petty at this point on Justin and Alexis. Lord Jesus, Justin. I live for the fall. I'm a Northeast girl, and I live for the fall with the gray sweatpants. I love my black men in their gray sweatpants because I'm like, ooh, sexy, daddy. Damn. He had on gray sweatpants in this episode, and I was like, oh, my bloody eyes.
What? Did he look good?
It was not attractive. Go back and watch it.
Okay.
Like when we say gray sweatpants, I'm like, ooh, yes, daddy, bulge. I'm just a whore. I'm sorry. Not sorry. But I'm just saying, I'm like, yow. And then I saw him in his gray sweatpants and I was like, ooh, Justin, really?
I didn't even notice. So obviously.
I noticed these things. But I had to put it out there. All right, who are we going to next? Pick a couple.
Lindy and Miguel. We can talk. I mean,
can we talk about Baby McGinty?
That was funny.
That was hilarious. Baby McGinty.
I love the name. And you know what? He's into role play, so I knew he would love it.
He was a little bit too much into it, though.
But he goes all in. He's a Dungeons and Dragon guy, and he's into cosplay and all that stuff. So he's gonna go in. Pretend world, he's all for it.
I didn't take any notes on them, so I'm gonna leave this up.
No, I didn't take any notes on them.
There's no notes to take on them.
Really nothing.
She's all. Oh my God, the baby's cried every 2 hours. What you think a baby's gonna do? What do you think a baby do? It's a baby. The baby's gonna cry for 2 hours sometimes. That's part of having a baby.
And it's a program.
Damn, if I don't know what I would do if a baby cried for 2 hours, and I got 3.
But it's
every 2 hours.
It's a program.
Oh, every 2 hours. Okay, I'm like, God damn, 2 hours.
Every 2 hours. The baby cried every 2. She said the baby cried every 2 hours.
I got nothing on them. This episode this week, I thought they were cute. I thought it was cute, and I literally chuckled when oh my God, what's his name? Miguel showed up to the guys' volleyball or basketball thing, and he's holding the baby in the carriage or the carry-on. I thought that was cute. and he was all into it. Like literally, he's sitting with the guys holding this fake ass baby with the fucking fake ass bottle in his mouth so that it doesn't cry. And I'm like, okay, Miguel, I like you. I like him. Right now, they're my favorite couple because I just like their giddiness and I like their interactions with each other. But in my gut, I'm thinking Miguel is going to blow her world up. She is so involved with him and she wants him so much and she wants this. I think at the decision day, he's going to be like, yeah, I'm out. And she's going to fucking flatline.
I mean, from the previews, I'm guessing some drama is about to come, but I still think that they actually make it.
I hope so.
She definitely is she's all hands on deck with him. It's crazy about, and I actually like seeing that kind of giddiness for someone. I mean, even him to an extent. I mean, he was very chill this week. No kind of like, side remarks like he was before. It wasn't any kind of shade. I mean, they did. I agree with you. They did. They just had fun this week. And I like to see that. And I said to you all before, I've grown to appreciate her more after understanding her story. I still have to see more. I'm not saying like I'm all on her bandwagon or anything, but I do like the happiness that she exudes from being with him. So we'll have to see.
I like it. Chris, anything else to add to them?
No.
I
don't think so.
All right, let's go. Listen, I gotta go to Stacia and Nate because I was literally online today when I was watching the episode because I don't even know why I was online today because I'm not going to have anybody to use it with, but I want one of those goddamn swings to hang on the door. That sex swing was everything.
I like that swing.
I want one.
I actually don't know what you're talking about, but I'm guessing it's a sex swing because I missed that. I must have fell asleep.
Yes, it's a
Stacia with Stacia? With Stacia and Nate? Okay.
That.
Oh yeah, it's a Shahida. It's a sex swing that literally hangs. You put it.
I know what it is. I just missed their interaction with it. I didn't see that.
Girl, that was like.
I know what it is.
Soft porn. Listen, that whole scene was soft porn 101, and I was
really.
I was all in my feelings. I was like, ooh. They put that shit on the door, and then he blindfolded her and then handcuffed her to the bed because okay.
Oh, was that part of their homework thing to do?
Yes, because they wanted her to give up her control and let Nate take control of everything, and she needs to trust him, and he did, and he got them up. He got them a cute little like love cottage or whatever it is for the weekend, and of course the experts left them a box there of goodies, of intimate goodies, and they had whipped cream, strawberries, chocolate syrup, everything, you name it. And then they had the handcuffs. He handcuffed her to the bed, and then they had the strap up, the harness on the door. And she was loving that harness though. She was like, "Ooh, what's this? What's this?" She put it on there, and then literally, I'm like, "Okay, when's the camera's gonna?"
I gotta go back and watch.
Oh, you gotta watch because I'm like, when is the camera's gonna cut this shit? Because I'm thinking like, okay, we don't really show all this much, but now we're showing everything.
Yeah,
they show everything. And she was literally holding onto the harness with her legs both up there. I can't lift my legs up. I'm a 54-year-old woman. I can't do that shit no more unless I have that harness. So if anybody wants to send me the harness, send it this way. And you have her legs in that.
Use it for what, man?
Yeah, exactly. Hanging plants. What you gonna put your make your sourdough rise a holder? What you gonna use it for?
Guys, I love it. I love how you keep me honest. Yeah, there's gonna be
the yeast on the sourdough, let the sourdough swing back and forth, and you.
Or I might podcast from it and be like, hey, I'm coming live from my door.
Hey, have you ever let anybody tie you up or handcuff you?
Me?
Because I can see why they would try that with her, because have you ever done that?
Yes, of course I did.
So you don't have any issues with being like,
Oh no, I have no issues with being blindfolded, like tied up. Listen, take me.
She said a little fast. You said you have no issue. No, I have no issues with something.
I have no issues with that. No, when I was watching it, I was giddy with her. Like, she was so uncomfortable, but she was like uncomfortably comfortable. That's what I looked at her when I was like, she was like, and I'm like, you are uncomfortably comfortable. And when he put that blanket over him and went downtown, and he was like, it looked like he was about to like munch the carpet, but she was like, what's going on? What's going on? She still had her leggings on. You saw her leggings, so he didn't do nothing. But he was like, I was like, ooh, I was all feeling all that, because I'd have been like,
after party, she said she likes the seams that were cut. She said she likes her toes sucked. So she's off in the shower cleaning her feet.
Washing her feet.
And then she hopped to the bed and he put chocolate syrup all over it. And they were all like, oh.
They still together.
She is a freak a leak. She don't want to give up that control, though. That's going to be the demise of them. I hope that they make it.
Demise. I think that they are working. I mean, to me, I'm seeing them as people who consistently work at learning to communicate with each other and get past issues. So they might have like a friction, but I'm impressed with their ability to work it out.
I agree with you. I think that they're going to make it.
Mm-hmm.
But if it doesn't make it, it's going to be because of Stacia at this point. Because next week, it could be a whole nother story.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking from the episode that I watched, I think that Nate he is just there. He's very clear about what he wants. He's not intimidated by her and her success. He wants this power couple. I think that if this marriage doesn't work this week, it's going to be because of her, because she's so self-absorbed and she wants to have control over everything.
Yeah.
I mean, the man got their wedding date tattooed on his hand. There's nothing that you can say to me. If I'm dating you or if I'm married to you and you're willing to get the tattoo, I'll never question your loyalty to me. I mean, you might cheat on me like Emu Udoka, but
people get tattoos of their significant others all the time. That doesn't that's a loyalty test.
That is like I have tattoos, and I'm saying to myself, all of my tattoos have a meaning. So for me, it's like, if you get a tattoo, I would have never gotten a tattoo for her. No, I mean, sorry, not sorry. What's that?
Oh, is that the tattoo of the woman who tattooed your name?
We're recording. Watch your mouth.
Oh shit! Sorry.
Well, I just started. Yes, someone got my signature on there, which is ridiculous.
Yeah. Let's see it again. That's your signature?
Mm-hmm.
That's a nice signature.
Thank you.
Oh.
Autograph. Anyway, so yeah.
So I have one thing to say about her.
Who? About Stacia?
Again, when they were sitting down talking with Dr. Pia, and they were talking about her control issues and just learning to be able to
let go
on somebody. How many years has this woman been in therapy? This shit didn't come up before.
She may be working on it. It could have been worse before.
But here's the thing.
Or maybe not have come up in a relationship before, as opposed to, how it feeds into a relationship, as opposed to just being a personal control person. You know what I mean? like on her, like if you're in therapy with in a relationship as opposed to being therapy just on your own. So maybe
Right.
the control issue didn't come up because she wasn't really talking about someone who she wanted to be significant enough that it was going to affect her in a relationship. So maybe this is something new, or
no, it's
that
not.
was just.
It's
I
not.
just feel like for her wanting to get married and going to therapy to work on herself, that this is something that she would have kind of worked on before she made that. But you know what? Regardless, her therapist might just suck, but she's still, in my mind, she's very open-minded and she listens.
Yes.
Yeah, I
So
think
she wants to correct whatever it is her behavior is to give her relation. So I gotta give it to them too. The last couple of weeks I have been impressed with their growth. I still think
Yeah.
he's a
that.
hustler, but that's not a bad thing. Not
Nope.
a bad thing. I have a couple of uncles, they hustlers, but they were good husbands.
Oh,
Shady as fuck, but good husbands.
Okay.
But
Mm-hmm.
I like that.
I agree.
I
do too.
I do too.
I
do
am,
too.
and I at this stage of the game, you know, as I keep saying, y'all know I was standing for Stacia, but I still like Stacia, but I'm standing for Nate right now because Nate is showing his whole ass, and he's being upfront, and he is just putting all the cards on the table. She may not like his presentation of how he's presenting it or how he's communicating to her, but he's putting it all out there. I like Nate. Nate is going to have to do some fucked up shit for me to be like,
change him though,
I'm not feeling you.
Yeah, she's not trying to change him, which I know she wants him to be a certain way, but from what I can see, she is more into trying to understand how he is and work with that instead of trying to change
him. Yeah, I agree with that.
And I have to totally respect her for that. That's why I'm saying I don't get the whole part that the demise will be on her because she's really shown a lot of growth.
She has, but I think I'm just thinking that she's not going to be willing to give up her control. And
I think she will for her marriage. She will.
We'll see. I'm hoping that I'm wrong because I'm rooting for them. I really want them to win, and I really want them to be the couple after this season's over that I'm like, oh, we following on Instagram and TikTok and everything, and they're making all their money and doing their most.
What she will figure out is there is, and he'll figure out too, there are things that he's going to let her control.
Right.
And things that she will have to compromise on because she's never gonna lose that controlling part of her, but in her marriage there are going to be things that she can control, and she's gonna and he'll give it to her. He'll give it to her, but then she's gonna have to learn to give him that control over certain things. And I think she's smart enough to realize that.
Let's hope.
We'll see.
We'll see.
We shall see.
Who's next?
All right. So who do we want to go to next? Do we want to go to Morgan and Binh or go to Mitch and Kristen? Let's go to Morgan and Binh because I'm just making the decision because
go ahead. Well, go ahead, bossy pants.
Oh, girl, you already know somebody's gonna comment on our YouTube and be like, "Bitch, you just said that, and you don't let nobody talk, and you already made the decision."
Go ahead.
Who's talking about Mitch? Who's talking about
Morgan and Binh?
Morgan and Binh, you said.
Oh, you know what? Let me start. Let me start.
Go ahead.
Because you know I have a thing with Morgan. First of all, Binh, I just wish he would grow some balls. Why can't you see that first of all, I was trying to explain to my friend why they're having a disagreement. And I'm like, well, first of all, he said that he talked to his friend and he didn't know if she was a real nurse. That's the first part, right? And the second part was that he was just talking about the relationship. Those are the only two things. That's it in this relationship. And she has taken it to DEFCON, as they say on Star Trek, DEFCON 10 or whatever. The fact that, no, she didn't. If he had said to Justin, she was molested by her parents and this, that, and the other, I get that. If he had said she has 2 vaginas, and that, I get that. Whatever, something private, personal, only my husband should know. He was confused about whether she was a real nurse or not. Period. Then the second time, he was just talking about their relationship, and she didn't want him to talk to him about anything.
Nothing.
And between those two things, she has made this a federal, like someone shoplifting at a Target, and now they're in jail for 25 years for whatever.
A pencil.
And
some Crayola crayons.
And still telling judge he committed the crime, and he's like, yes, I did steal the pencil from Target. She
lock the door and throw the key away.
She does not want to be married to him. She don't want to be married.
She don't want to be married.
She don't want to be married. She don't want to be married to him. She's not even forgiving anything. Oh, you apologize, but you didn't apologize with feeling.
Emotional apology. That's the key word of the week.
I need to feel it.
Emotional apology.
I need to feel your apology. He already apologized. How many times does he have to apologize to you? She's the worst. For me, she's the worst. Because if she would just said, you know what, I really don't. She's clinging on to this thing that is like.
But why is nobody calling her on it?
And that's what I'm saying. Dr. Pia did not call her out at all. And then Mindy, or whatever her name is, was like, I feel so bad for you because he's just not on the same emotional wavelength as you are.
It was Lindy.
Lindy, whatever. You know what I'm talking about. And I'm like, really? Everyone, yeah, and Morgan, that edifies her. That makes her even stronger. It's like giving the Hulk more anger, and it's like, oh, yeah, you're ugly too. And now it's like, really? Off of you told the Hulk, I don't like the color of your hair. Now the Hulk is like, she's the worst. She is the worst, and he's still contrite and like, I just run away from my problems. But it was revealing when he said, she reminds him of my dad.
Yeah.
Because because she's physically, he said physically too.
Yeah.
Physically and strong, and is one of the strong, and reminds of her dad. She has not 1 ounce of sensitivity to his feelings or how he's at all. None.
And nobody's calling her out on that.
At all.
This man is so broken. And he's like, if this marriage doesn't work out, I'll be devastated. Why? You were happier before this marriage. You had to be, because this woman has made you nothing but miserable since she's came into the picture. And the fact that Dr. Pia and the other doctor, what's her name?
Pepper.
Dr. Pepper, neither of them have recognized. You say you're watching the show with us, or you've been watching along and you know what's going on. Neither of them have addressed how beaten up this person is. He is beaten up, and to take everything that she says internally, and he still feels like he should be apologizing to her.
Yes.
And sat there on that end of that couch with those fucking fake tears, and what he did to me is inexcusable. Nobody's
over and over again.
I'm so tired.
And it's Alexis's fault. He didn't do anything. He didn't do one thing directly to her. Not one thing. Oh, he did give her roses, and she threw them away. Go ahead, Tanya.
Can we just not address? Let's just address the fact that the reason why this all went down is because of her. Like, she needs to own that. Like, bitch, you lied. Like, listen, as a nurse, you can have an associate's degree and still be a nurse. You may not make as much as a bachelor's of nursing person does, but you are still a nurse. We still do the same job. I've been saying this over and over again. She is the one that put that out there with the bachelor's of nursing. How do you expect anybody to know what you do for a living? He is an engineer. He knows nothing about healthcare. So when you say to him, I'm a nurse, oh, and then in the background, you say to him, oh, well, I didn't get my bachelor's. I'm still a nurse, but I didn't get my bachelor's. He's gonna be like, oh, well, are you a nurse or what? He's wrong. They're both equally wrong. He's wrong for going and talking to other people about it.
No, he talked to one person. It's like they told the group. He told one person.
But because the one person's wife. He's wrong for talking to other people, but that's on her. That's what I was saying. That's her mess that she made.
But I don't think he's wrong for talking to other people.
No, he's not wrong for talking to other people. I mean, I guess I said that wrong.
Yeah, he's not wrong for talking to other people.
For confiding in his friends.
Right.
And confiding in other people. Because at the end of the day, when you're married to someone, or you're dating someone, or you just like someone, you still have your crew or their crew or whoever the fuck crew that you can go to and talk to and ask questions of. I welcome that. But I've said this before, she bears that responsibility because she put that shit out there. I guess with the whole married at first sight thing, was he wrong for going behind her back and talking to Justin? Maybe. Yeah. I might feel some sort of way. But at the end of the day, I might feel some sort of way, but I'm going to own it after the fact and say, well, you told the man that I wasn't a real nurse, but let me sit your ass down and let me explain to you.
And he did that.
She did that.
He did that.
Apologized.
Yeah.
And she's not letting it go. She wants this whole emotional apology. She's like, I want an emotional apology. Well, you're not going to get that from him. He comes from a culture. You gotta be respectful of people's culture. You can't expect him to grovel. That's, I think, what she wants.
He has been groveling, though.
He's been groveling, but I think she wants more. I think she wants him to shed some tears and literally break down and beg her for her forgiveness. And if he is a smart man, he ain't gonna do that shit. You listen, you didn't beat her, you didn't cheat on her, you didn't cuss her out and disrespect her in any way, shape, or form. Y'all just had a misunderstanding. This is where I'm coming from on this one. It was just a straight up misunderstanding that she took it and ran with it.
And you know what? If Alexis hadn't said anything the second time, she would have nothing to keep going back to.
Nope.
Nothing.
Nope.
Nothing.
Nope. You right.
I'm just disappointed in the professionals because okay, you know how like the producer came in when Justin and Alexis were arguing, like, okay, I was like, okay, good, they're on it, they're trying to monitor. How come nobody has come in and checked her ass? Anyway, that's all I have on them two, because it's the same week, and I'm tired of seeing him this doggone week, and I'm tired of seeing him internalize all this crap that she's trying to make him feel. And you know what, bitch, if you're that unhappy, just go.
Just go.
Right.
You're already not living in the same place. Just say you're done. Be done.
Right. I was hoping that this episode she would have just walked and been like, she would have pulled a fucking Chris Colette.
She wants to break him
and
more.
said, "This is my decision day, and I'm done. I want out." I was hoping that would have happened, but she softened herself a little bit. I'll give her some credit. She softened herself a little bit when
For
talking
the doctor.
to Dr. Pia.
Only for the doctor.
Of course. But she did. And she looked at him because I was watching the body language and she looked at him. She wants that. But I'm saying to myself, how many more times does this man have to grovel and beg for your forgiveness for something?
Until the end.
Yeah. For something that wasn't even
she would bring this up 6 years later.
Right. Yeah. You're right on that one, Chris. She's never going to let that go. And we already know, or I shouldn't say we, I'm speaking for myself. I already know the way that he looks at her, she is not his type. She is not the soft. He needs a soft, submissive, kind woman, loving woman that's going to be like,
submissive. He doesn't need.
I'm gonna say submissive. He looks like the type that he needs that.
Why?
No, I don't think there's anything wrong with being submissive because I can be submissive if I find the right person.
I don't think he needs submissive. He's more submissive than anything else.
I think he's scared.
I think he needs someone who may be strong but kind and sweet and nice, like Kristen. If he had Kristen and Mitch, if he had someone like Kristen who was like this, that, and the other, and they would be great together.
Really? No,
I think so.
That.
Yeah, I think he would be great with Lindy as well.
Yeah,
I would say Lindy.
Energy would match his energy.
Yeah, I'd say Lindy, but not Christy. I think he needs somebody that's accommodating and submissive, and he's listen. I'm just saying
accommodating.
That there's anything wrong with that. I'm just saying that's what I think that he needs. Because
usually someone who needs someone to accommodate is a dominant person. He's not a dominant person. So why would two submissives be? No, he needs someone who is either going to be kind to him or on his level or whatever. But I don't think he needs someone listen to everything he does, because if he was that way, he'd have been like, Morgan, shut. I gave you my apology. I'm not going to give you another apology. And she'd have been like, oh, okay. But he's like, oh, okay. So you need something more emotional? Okay. So no, he if he was dominant, he'd be like, no. I don't know why you're still holding on to this. Do you want to continue this relationship or not? If you don't, let's call it a day and go through the exercise. If you do, then let's work on it. But stop doing this game. If that's what a dominant person would say. But he's so submissive and so. What do you? I'm sorry. What do you need? Anyway.
I didn't say that he was submissive. I was saying he needs a submissive. And
but that's the point of two submissives. Two submissives are not. It's a dominant and a submissive, or a dominant submissive. He needs someone on his equal level, but not a dominant person likes a submissive person, and a submissive person likes a dominant person. A submissive person is not necessarily going to get along with another submissive person because they'll both be going, "Oh, do you want? No. Do you want? Oh, no. Do you?" As opposed to, "I want that." Yeah, here you go.
Yeah. You're right. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I think he needs someone on his equal level, or dominant, because he's not dominant.
Yeah, because he can definitely deal with dominant, but like you said, they have to be kind.
Exactly. She's not a kind dominant person.
Like you're a dominant person, but you would be kind to him.
Yes. Exactly. Yeah.
She's a brute. That's all I'm gonna say. She's like Bluto from Popeye. She's like Bluto. Like she walks in. Every time she walks in somewhere, it's like, boom, 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 boom. I'm gonna punch you. That's what I get when I see Morgan. That's
you said I'm gonna punch you.
Like she got.
I'm gonna kickbox you. I'm
gonna punch you.
All right. Who's next? The last.
The final, Mitch and Kristen. And the only thing I have to say, the only note I have left is. Listen to me.
She got on my nerves.
No, we literally watched. Maybe I just took it wrong. We literally watched Kristen lose herself on this episode. We watched the life sucked out of Kristen, because go back to the beginning. She was so perky. She was so loving. She was so energetic. And now every episode, her eyes are bloodshot. She's always complaining. She has lost herself with him. And each episode, I'm like, when is an expert going to come in and rescue this bitch? But even though I know it's not going to happen, I don't know why I'm saying this, because it's not going to happen, because it's good TV. But I'm like,
but
why
he's not doing
why
a
are you
whole lot.
subjecting this woman to this bullshit of this man?
Oh,
That's
I
all I
gotta
get to say.
disagree to a point, because for this week anyway, I didn't see him as doing so much as her just whining over everything. And maybe it was just like, okay, the conversation with I'm sorry, the conversation with the hero. Who is your hero?
Why are you laughing at that?
I don't know. That shit was funny to me. He said,
why was it funny to you? I liked it, and I respected it for it.
He said, you thought about that? You thought about your mother like that at 8 years old? And I was thinking the same.
See, you trifling.
Wait, okay, all right. So,
and you sitting over there wiping your tears over that trifling ass shit. Terrible, Shahida. Shame on shame.
Okay, all right, I'm together. Okay. I thought it was funny because she started getting upset because he said, you thought about your mother that way? When you was 8 years old.
When you was what?
You know, when you was 8 years old. And they were talking about a hero. And like, and then when she was like, when somebody just says who the hero is, you should just like, I'm sorry. I don't know why I thought that shit was funny. Somebody else take it. Because I'm done. I can't even talk.
I love it, Cheetah. You are literally over there weeping. I'll say this. I was on Team Kristen, because she said, I'm being vulnerable at this moment. I'm talking about my mom. And there you are over there holding your throat. I liked everything that she said. And then he had to come back. And I agree with her. Motherfucker, all you had to do was shut your fucking mouth. Why do you have to come back with some shit and questioning me on that shit? But that be some shit you would do, Shahida. That's why you over there fucking lollygagging. And I ain't got nothing to say.
I agree with you. And it's like, he should know to be quiet on some things. But
he doesn't know how to.
I don't know why that was so funny to me, because
here we are.
Chris, go ahead.
I think Mitch is just a very Chinese look cracking out. He's just a very linear thinker. He's just very linear. And
he's an asshole.
He doesn't know any better.
Yes, he does.
I think he generally thought that was a legitimate question. Like, you didn't answer the question. You didn't answer the question. And she's like, well, my mother, so and so, and he's like, but that's not what she asked you. And then she got offended because she thought that he didn't like her answer of the mother, as opposed to just didn't answer the question. That's what the problem was.
My chest is killing.
But the question was, who is your favorite hero or heroine? And he made the comment as he's looking. He's like, heroine.
8 years old.
He's like, does that say heroine?
When you were 8 years old? Was that the question? Was that the question when you were 8 years old?
Yes, when you were 8 years old.
Oh, was that the question? When you were 8 years old?
Yes.
I just thought the question was, who's your favorite hero or heroine? I would have to go back and look at that shit.
Go back and watch because I thought it was.
I got to go back and pull that up because I thought the question was, who's your favorite hero or heroine and why? And he was talking about his, caricatures, his, Marvel people that he liked. Oh, I didn't know. I may be wrong, and I'll wait because I know I see Chris's face. He's looking it up, so I already know Chris is gonna pull that shit up because I could be wrong because I took it as of who's your hero, who is your hero or heroine, and why. I didn't see it 8 because that's and at the end of the day, before Chris pulls that up, while he's pulling it up, that's a stupid ass question because. Do we really listen? I don't know what the fuck I did yesterday. Don't ask me
who my hero was at 8.
Fine. You want to fucking okay? Go ahead. Who's your hero at 8?
I was all into Wonder Woman.
Good for you. I don't know shit when I was 8. I don't know shit when I was 8. I don't know what the TV shows was on the TV.
Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong, but the fact that he brought it back to that and he asked her that question, and she just got,
But in fairness to her, he should have shut his mouth. She didn't utter a word when he was talking about his Marvel comics and his superhero shit. She didn't say shit. She might have looked at him like, really? Like, that's some dumbass shit. Let her say her piece and not interject your fucking.
But he really.
Who is your childhood idol? That's what it was. Yeah. By questioning her childhood idol, fans think on the verge of leaving Mitch and should do immediately. Fans think she should leave immediately. Kristen is asked about her childhood hero when sitting down with Mitch. Kristen recalls that her mother raised her and her sisters. Says that her mother is a Cuban immigrant. I don't know her. She got some flavor in her. Oh,
she don't seem like it.
But I knew her mother.
Very high up in the company as a result of hard work and patience. Mitch doesn't simply stop there. He doesn't want to challenge Kristen, but he wonders why she felt the same way as a child, given that this exercise is about her childhood idol. Yes, I did. When asked about her reaction to Mitch, Kristen, why are you challenging me that? I just thought it was a good question, he says. He stumbles over his words, which doesn't help the matter. When somebody answers a question, especially about their childhood hero, you don't question it, she asks Mitch. You don't question it. So that she doesn't want content. Yeah, I just want you to say that sounds amazing. What a great story. But it doesn't say that. Fans were quick to call Mitch out for the way he responded, calling him insecure with his own answer. Mitch was just mad because his answer made no sense. Who did he say?
He said some superhero.
He was talking about superheroes like Batman, Robin, and all them shit. Yeah, all that fantasy.
Because shit. I'm telling you, Mitch is literal.
He is.
He's mad because his answer made that Kristen answered Kristen wrong.
I don't care that he's literal, but at the end of the day,
so if he says a hero when he was a kid, I would say Batman or I would say Batman. My hero as a kid was Batman.
No, I wouldn't.
I'm talking as a man, as a literal man. If you said what hero did you like growing up, I'd be like Batman, Superman. I was really into superheroes.
Who would you say? Anyway. Me?
Yeah, Tanya.
Yeah. I would say the same shit as Kristen. I'm looking at listen, when you say to me, who was your heroes as a child? As a child, I got to look at my life. And that I related to Kristen on that. Her dad wasn't around, even though she has a relationship with her dad. I didn't. Her mother basically took care of her and her siblings. That's a superhero. For me, I got that.
Okay. I mean, I get it. I get it.
And even though I've watched TV, I like Wonder Woman. I liked all those shows, Batman, Robin, and all that. But that was fiction and fantasy for me. For me, when you ask me you can't ask me a question about heroes, because for me, I'm not looking at fictional characters. That's all fantasy for me.
But even if I was looking at like non-fictional characters, it probably would have been somebody like Harriet Tubman, or a book I read on him. I probably would not. I honestly probably wouldn't have said my mother, even though I know my mother is a hero. But at that time, she was just my mom, and she taking care of me was just, that's your job.
No, I agree with you.
But
I agree with you. But I would have said my grandmother would have been, if that question was posed to me, I would have said my grandmother, and no shade to my mother, because my mother had to work. My mother had to work 2, 3, 4 jobs to take care of me and my brother. But at the end of the day, my grandmother was in the house, and she basically raised me and my brother. Even though she had a job, she raised us, and she didn't have to.
Yeah.
You know when I was a young teenager, who I wanted to be when I grew up?
Who?
I wanted to be my sister's ex-boyfriend, or they went out for a little bit. His name was Butch Graves, who went to Yale.
We're still recording now. You really want to say that shit?
Why not? Go ahead.
I'm just saying, he's talking, and I'm saying to myself, "Oh Lord Jesus." Okay, here we go. Keep talking, Chris.
He went to Yale. He was 6'5", 6'6". He would play for the Yale basketball team. He got drafted in the second round by the Philadelphia 76ers, and he was Earl Graves' son, and he ended up running Black Enterprise. Helping run Black Enterprise.
I know that. Yeah, I know.
But he went to Yale. He was a nice guy, and he was really cool. But I was like, I want to go to Yale and be a basketball player and get drafted by this. I was like, oh, that's like, that was like I was like, oh, that's a great. I mean, to be smart enough to go to Yale and bad enough and play for Yale basketball and get drafted by the Sixers in the second round and be, you know what I mean? I was like, Butch Graves is anyway.
But you went to Georgetown, so
I didn't play basketball though.
Same.
And I didn't get drafted. I didn't get drafted by the Sixers as a cheerleader.
Well, doesn't matter. You still went to Georgetown, which is an Ivy League school. Is Georgetown an Ivy League school?
We rejected the Ivy Leagues because we're a Catholic school.
Well,
so
I don't know. I just thought that Georgetown was always a great college to go to if you can get it.
So I don't know if they're going to make it. That's on the fence for me.
Yeah.
So for me ranking, I think Stacia and Nate are number 1. They're going to make it.
Mm-hmm.
I think 2 is Lindy and Miguel. I think 3 is Kristen and Mitch. I think 4 is Justin and Alexis, and then 5 is Morgan and Binh.
I think that at this point, for me, for Mitch and Kristen, is Kristen, you're not happy. You're not gonna be happy. And I don't dislike Mitch as much as I did before. I do think he's still like he got asshole tendencies or whatever, but is he workable? I think he is workable. Can he be, I won't say fixed, but there is a part of him that, like she says, basically he's a good guy. You can't say that he's not a good guy. Right. Yep, he has some assholic tendencies or whatever, but they can be smoothed over. But if she can't get a hold of herself and her emotions, she's not going to be able to deal with him. So for her to be happy, she needs to just kind of like move on. But I do think that they would work because he seems to be willing to want to work too. And he does listen. He says too many of the right things sometimes and not enough action behind it. I still need to see a little bit more action behind the words, but I do think he's workable. But she whined too much for me in this episode, and I just got sick and tired of her. And so when she started talking about her childhood and crying, it just made me fucking laugh.
So the rest of the couples,
who make you one person.
So do you agree on those rankings?
Yeah, basically, because I don't think the bottom 3 are gonna make it.
Right.
So I think the only couples that are gonna make it are Stacia and Nate, Lindy and Miguel, And I kind of think that Kristen and him at least say yes, whether or not they're still together. But I do think they say yes. But the last two couples, not at all. Not at all. Tanya.
Oh, okay. I think that.
Where how'd you go? She's thinking about sourdough right now. She's like this.
I have a complex. I'm waiting because everybody keeps telling me I keep cutting in and shut my mouth. I think that Justin, let me go. Okay, Justin and Alexis are going to make it to decision day. And I think it's going to be, I think Alexis is going to say no. Justin's going to say yes because he's Justin.
You think?
I don't think Justin, he's not going to say yes anymore.
No, I don't know. I think that he's going to be all in and she's going to say no. That's my opinion.
Okay.
That's Justin and Alexis. Lindy and Miguel, I think that she's going to say yes. And he is going to say no at decision day. I think he's going to realize, I think he's in this fantasy right now with her and loving the fact that she is just all enamored with him and loving everything that he says. Like, there's nothing that man can't say that she's like, she loves that. He loves it for now. I don't think he wants to live a lifetime with that. I think she's going to say yes. He's going to say no. And I think that's going to be the most dramatic decision day ever in Married at First Sight history, because she's going to say yes and be all in love with him. And he's going to say no. And she's going to fucking blow, her head's going to explode. But that's what I'd like to see. Anyway, Stacia and Nate, I think they're both going to say yes. They're going to go through some trials and tribulations, but I think they're both going to say yes. And I think they're both going to make it. Kristen and Mitch, I don't even think they're going to make it to decision day.
Wow, really?
No.
Why would they not make it to?
There's only 2
I don't know. I think that, I mean, I might be wrong. Let me rewind that back. I take that back, everybody. I think they will make it to decision day because, of course, I've seen the previews and I've seen the decision day previews and I've seen them sitting on the couch. So they will make it to decision day. I think that Mitch is going to have to grovel and beg for her forgiveness and beg and tell her how much he loves her and how much he wants to be with her. And she's going to be like, okay. And I think they're going to say yes because, you know, she went through that whole shit with her first marriage with the supposed husband that cheated on her with her friend and whatever. They didn't get to the marriage. So I think she's going to do that. Binh and Morgan, that's a done deal. That shit ain't getting them. I don't even think that shit's going to marriage, a decision day. I think that shit is going to go to a week, maybe 2. And then they're going to end that shit. Because it's a fucking train wreck. Those two are a train wreck right now. I'm tired of seeing them.
Yeah. All right.
I don't think it's going to work.
That's everybody.
So that's everybody for me. Anything else, Chris? You just had a wonderful thing at your house. Let's talk about your organization. And do you guys take donations? I'll let you take the floor. Talk about it.
Barry, where would people send donations for I Am Able? Where would people send donations for I Am Able?
Tell us about I Am Able.
Hold on 1 second. Ready?
Tell us about it.
Hi.
This is Barry.
Barry. You said Barry?
Yeah.
Hi, Barry. I'm Tanya.
Hi. We can't hear you.
It's a little bit low. Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right. You're good. All right. So Barry and Chris, tell us a little bit about your organization that you just had the other day at your house, Chris, and let the family know what can we do to donate to it if we can donate to it, and tell us a little background about the organization. Go ahead, Barry.
Of course you can donate. We would love to have your support. I was a special educator for 34 years. So I worked with kids with learning differences, the ADHD, the dyslexia, dysgraphia, autism, to emotional issues, ADHD. So I'm very, very passionate about helping and continuing on. So this is my mission after I retired from teaching, is to continue, because we have adults who are still struggling coming out and talking about their learning difference. And it could be an invisible disability. It could be we're trying to use the terminology invisible differences. And it's about empowering everyone to feel comfortable to talk about it and to embrace it, because they have so many gifts and they think differently and they know how to problem solve, sometimes very differently outside the box. And we as a society need to embrace that as well. So what we want to do is work through school age all the way up to corporations, and because people still struggle telling their bosses that they have a learning difference, and
not a disability. I have ADD, so
right. So that's why we use the term invisible differences, and we just feel like using storytelling, and we're creating these empowerment groups where people could just, who are neurodiverse, which is another terminology that actually has become that encumbers on, ADHD, dyslexia, learning disability, and, autism as well. So the neurodiverse community, we want to create these empowerment groups where neurodiverse community could get together and share their stories and support each other and talk about, again, finding out that they're not alone. Some adults have never shared their story before. So
we hosted an event yesterday at my house and taped it, and we'll disseminate it, so people can watch and hear people who are successful with learning differences, and so people can feel more included if they have learning differences, and not to be shamed about being different. So if you'd like to donate,
yes,
you can go to, it's called I Am Able
Foundation, and it is
Foundation.
I Am Able Foundation.org.
Okay.
Now you have to spell it out. IAM Foundation.org, because there's another.
I Am Able.
Yeah. Oh, did I not say
IAMABLE Foundation.
That's all right. Chris is gonna give us text us the website, and we'll put it on the page so that we can put it out there and people can donate. I love what you guys do, because I hadn't heard about that and what you and Chris are doing until I saw his post yesterday. And I love what you're doing, because my mom is a retired teacher in the Boston public school system for like 35 years. So she would be enamored by that. And I love the fact that I just have a certain level of respect for educators and people that think of, the children and making sure that they're good and, they're educated. So I love that.
Well, let me add too, because I understand, especially if you're working with adults, how those stories need to be told. I worked with a young man in finance a couple of years ago. And of course, can't ask a person if they have any type of learning disability, but you could tell that he had autism. But his parents did a great job with working with him. You could see him like concentrating on listening to for cues to know how to respond to you. And my granddaughter, who is 7, she's autistic. And so right now she's at 7, you would say nonverbal. She says certain things, but one of the things that, we're all trying to work with her is to get her verbal, but then how is she going to be 5-10 years from now, and as an adult, programs like this can like help, ensure that she has a community to fall back on. And that's very important to me, other than just having family, because you definitely need to have peers and then people to help guide you in these type of programs. And I didn't know, Chris, that you were doing anything like this. And it's I volunteer here in Rhode Island, but only with children. Nothing on like an adult level, but I've been thinking more about the adult level because I know Autumn is getting older and she's going to need, that kind of support. So definitely will be donating to your organization, and I cannot wait to see the content that you all, made yesterday.
And let's take it to the East Coast. I mean, they're in the West Coast. We're on the East Coast.
She's in Chicago.
And I'm from Chicago.
We're in Chicago. Also West. Okay, so West. What is
national, right?
Yes, this is going to be national. This was our first time doing it, and we wanted to get some film so that we could. It's going to take a couple weeks to get edited, but then we're going to put it on our website and show that this is what we would like to do, and we can create these groups anywhere, just with talking with us and how we feel that we believe it's should be done in a certain manner, because again, it's about embracing, and it's about empowering and feeling comfortable with who you are and sharing. And then you find out that there's other people who are like, oh my God, I was able to relate to that when I was a kid, and it was like a aha moment for her.
Yeah.
Yesterday when we were talking about it. So it was just very interesting to be behind the scenes and watch it. And that's the cool thing for me, because that's where I get the enjoyment to knowing that I could help other people this way.
Yeah. Well, you're in Chicago. Chris is in Cali. I'm in Massachusetts. Shahida is in Rhode Island. We're East Coast girls. So listen, if you ever want to bring it this way, just talk to Chris. He'll talk to us, or Chris will give you our information, and you can reach out to us. We'd love to start something here and, keep it moving and just keep it growing. So we'll get the website from Chris, and we'll put it on our YouTube and on our podcast and on our website and Facebook and everything. And we'll ask folks to donate. But we love what you guys are doing. And Chris, we love you anyway. So, but we love the fact that you get back.
Doing good works and not telling people, but okay.
Right. So we're going to end this podcast now, and we're just going to
sing your song
next week. I got to do my do. Everybody wave. Everybody give me some fingers, jazz fingers. Do.